So it's been 7 years since I've dropped out of college, and it's the best decision I made in my life. But to understand this concept a little bit further, I need to break down what success may mean to you. Could be different to everybody. You know, what success means to me could be different to what it means to you. And I don't personally believe, and I haven't done for a long time, since I was 15, 16, 17. I left college at 18, I'm 25 now. I haven't believed since then that school is the optimum medium or gateway in order to achieve a higher level of success, higher than the societal standards. Now, generally what's considered success, say for example for me living in the UK compared to somebody living in America or Germany or Russia or East Africa or South Africa, could be different. Whatever part of the world that you live, the social construct is different. But generally speaking, to become financially free, I don't personally believe, and this is also not just my opinion, this is just real life stats if you like. Who have you met that has gone through school and has thanked school for their reason for being financially free? And if they're financially free, I don't mean at 55 or 60 years old, I mean at a young age. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be a millionaire in your 20s, but it is 100% possible and achievable, especially in today's day and age. The tools and resources that you've all got watching this right now, you've got everything you need in order to become a millionaire. But becoming a millionaire isn't the goal, right? This is what I think people get confused. And this is what I had confused being younger as well. The goal is to be in a position where you don't have to worry about money. You don't need to be worried about time, location. You have location, time, freedom, and you have financial freedom. I think those three intertwine together in order to give you success. Now, if you want to become a doctor, you want to become a lawyer, you want to become an accountant, you want some kind of computer programming job, an engineer, whatever, of course you're going to have to go through either university or what we call in the UK like an apprenticeship program. I think those of you in America, maybe different parts of the world, might call it a scholarship program. And apprenticeships and scholarships, I mean, they pay you for essentially achieving the academia. Let me explain something about school though, right? Not every teacher is bad. This is point one that I want to make. I've had some brilliant teachers in my life, some really good teachers that have had a phenomenal impact, but they are just people doing their job. I don't personally believe they're experienced in what they're talking about. For example, a business teacher, I mean, how many business teachers have you met that have actually run a successful business? And if so, why they're teaching at a school, why they're not teaching out of their own academy? I mean, ultimately, that's what a smart business person would do. But it's very unlikely you're going to run across a teacher that has actually had the life experience or been in a position that you actually want to be in. And the problem is that most of you younger guys and girls watching don't even know what position you want to be in. You don't even know what you want to achieve. You just think driving a nice car and doing all these nice things is success, but it's not. Trust me, you'll get bored of eating out a nice place. You'll get bored of having all these materialistic things. They're fantastic. And don't get me wrong, they're fantastic. They're brilliant. And I'm not going to be one of those people that says to you, don't have them, because I personally find enjoyment in it. I'm not going to be one of them people that just lie and say, oh, just be boring for the rest of your life. But I mean, everyone's goals are different, right? I'm a car enthusiast, I love my cars. I'll always want to get nice cars. I like dressing up well. Obviously, I'm not dressed the best at the moment, but I generally like dressing up well. And so for that, I might spend some money on clothes, maybe even in this case, the car. I take care of my appearance quite a bit for me, right? I enjoy that. But getting back to the point, so that's teachers, right? Teachers are very different from mentors. Secondly, another thing, and I'm talking to mainly those of you in the UK right now. Between 18 and 23, 24, usually is that time period where you're studying in university. And by the time you're 23, 24, maybe even 25, my age, you'll be graduating and you'll be looking for a job. Well, let me tell you something. In those years, you're going to be doing what most likely? You're going to be spending time at the weekends in clubs or bars or restaurants. And all you'll be doing is using your university loan to do this. You'll be living below your means. You'll be spending time with friends and all these kind of things and enjoying yourself under this illusion of freedom, which isn't actually freedom. It's just temporary freedom disguised as freedom. It's not real freedom. And when the bubble bursts, when you graduate, you'll realize that all those years have just passed you by like this, and it was a trance that you've now woken up from, and you have to face real life that, okay, you're 23, 24, or 25, you're in debt through university, and you're also trying to look for a job. And even if you do find a job, you're gonna have to climb up the career ladder all the way into your mid-30s and save your way to success, which doesn't exist, by the way, in today's day and age. You can't save your way to success. You think you're just gonna graduate, you think you're just gonna get all that money, you're gonna get a high paying job, and you're gonna save up, then you're gonna invest it into a property, or you're gonna start a business with no business experience as well, funnily enough. All those years in your 20s where you could have experimented, tried and failed and still been young, you're now sat there at 36 years old, not old at all, by the way, but it's a lot older than 21 or 18 or 25, and you sat there at 36 thinking, do you know what? The last decade has gone me by, I could have been a millionaire by now. I could have made so much money, I could have had so many experiences cost-free or for a very cheap experience because you had less responsibility at those times. You might now have kids, you might have a family that you're managing, you might have a house mortgage that you have to pay. Your responsibilities change as you get older is my point. So for those of you who are younger, you need to think ahead. Think about your 30s, think about what responsibilities you may have and how much different it might be in terms of you taking risk. Your risk exposure is completely different in your 30s than it is your 20s. So I'm telling all of you this. Now, for those of you in your 30s, right, there's a different video for that, but this is mainly aimed at you younger people. And I'm telling you, you are being scammed without realizing. You think you want to achieve what you're studying for. Trust me, you do not. If I asked you what your favorite food was, and you said to me, for example, I'll tell you mine. Mine's steak. Right? I love steak. How would I know steak's my favorite if all I've been having would have been cucumbers or carrots my whole life? It's a silly example, but it's true. If all I've been eating is one dish my entire life, or two dishes, I'm only ever going to think that's my favorite because that's all I've been exposed to. A lot of you guys studying, going through the school system, will think you want to become an engineer or a doctor or something in IT or a lawyer, an accountant. That's all you know. You've not explored out in the world. So when I left college at 18, the first thing that I thought, and it was a scary feeling, I'll be honest with you, because it's very exciting leading up to it when it hits you that I've actually got nothing right now and I'm gonna have to work my way up. It is a scary feeling. But once you get through it, you realize, wow, the world is a lot bigger than you thought. You travel, you go places, you can just get a part-time job. People who talk about safety net, such bullshit. Safety net. 18 to 23 years old, just get a part-time job. Get a part-time job, save up money, travel, learn, experience things, meet people, learn communication skills. Do you know the amount of people that I've met that have graduated with the highest diplomas you can think of, and they've got terrible communication skills? They can't even speak. They can't even get their points across eloquently. They're not confident. They can't stand straight. They don't even dress well. They don't even take care of their appearance, which is such a big thing. And these people are book smart, okay? And you might be one of them, by the way. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm not trying to belittle anybody. I'm just trying to make it evidently clear that a degree, a piece of paper, does not qualify for intelligence. It's just academia, two different things. Just because you can memorize something doesn't mean you can actually use your mind in the ways that it's supposed to be used. There's 9 different forms of intelligence, I believe. Could be wrong on that number. There's mathematical, artistic, creative. There's linguistic intelligence. There's problem-solving intelligence. There's academic intelligence. There's different forms of intelligence. But for me to say to you, you are only going to be academically intelligent is stupid. Because then that's me saying to you that you're only going to fall under one bracket of intelligence, which doesn't make sense. It's like Einstein famously said, that if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life forever thinking it's stupid. And that's very true. Imagine if I said to you, schools were replaced with boxing schools. Do you think everybody has the capability physically to become a boxer? And that if they're not a boxer, they're stupid? Imagine that reality. You might be thinking that's a crazy comparison, a crazy example, but it's not. Now, another point I want to make very quickly. The economy does need employees. I'm not saying every single human being on earth is destined to be an entrepreneur. I think that's a silly take and it's naive. There are people who genuinely enjoy working a job. This is about enjoyment for you. Enjoyment, and as long as you know what your goals are in life, you're going to be successful. If your goal isn't to make $1 million a year and your goal is just to be comfortable, to be set, and you're happy having a house and a mortgage, you're happy having limited freedom over the year, you're happy not traveling whenever you want in the year, and you just want a normal life, that's fine. I'm not going to villainize you for that and say that you're a loser for that. As long as you're happy, you have a good partner, you've got children, you've got family that respect you, like you've got your life going well for you. That's completely fine. I'm talking to those of you who think that you want to do something, but in reality, you actually don't. You're falling under family pressure, peer pressure, thinking that you want to become an engineer, or that if you don't become whatever job title, then that you're stupid. That doesn't make sense. That's not true at all. There's a lot of you that are a lot more capable than you think, but you've not exercised that intelligence in as many fields as possible. I'm telling you nowadays, it's so easy to start a business, to be educated on business by people who are in the position you want to be, and you can get access to these people for a very small price, a lot smaller than you would have 10, 15, 20 years ago. Getting access to a millionaire then would have cost you hundreds of thousands of pounds. Now you can get access to a multi-millionaire who's experienced in their field, who can mentor you for a fraction of that price. Work a job, and before you know it, by the time you're 23, you won't be in debt. You'll have more money saved up than any one of your friends who go to university. You won't be influenced by a negative circle. You won't waste your time every weekend in clubs. You're not going to miss out on anything. I do not regret not going to university. I've not missed out on a single thing. Now, all the people that I know that went to university are sat there regretting that they went, and I've not bothered a single bit about all this freedom that they had because it's gone. Now for the rest of their life, they have to figure out, what do we have to do? And it's a daunting position to be in. So school is not a scam. So this is mainly to those of you either in school currently or you've just graduated. Look, it's not too late. It is not too late. If you're in your 20s at the moment, still not too late. Even if you're in your 30s, it's not too late. I believe it's never too late. But today is the day. Don't wait till next year or the year after, because then it will be too late. Now is the time to start. Pick a niche that you want to go into and excel, right? But my advice is this, and I'm speaking generally to all of you here. As long as you've got income coming in and you've got limited responsibility, you can become extremely wealthy. If you give it about 3 to 5 years, you would rather give those 3 to 5 years with the intention of growing in your field, in your niche and starting your own thing and actually excelling in that, compared to giving 3 to 5 years to somebody else who you're literally just a number on a screen or in a database, and they could just kick you out tomorrow and fire you tomorrow, and your life doesn't exist. The people that depend on you don't exist. To these guys, they don't care. You're just a number on a screen, they'll kick you off, they'll fire you, and your whole life is shattered. What are you gonna do then? The time is now to act. It doesn't have to be trading what I do. It can be anything you want. Obviously, I specialize in trading. This is why I started when I was 18 years old. It took me 4 years to make a penny, to see any results from this. 4 years. I started when I was 16. Towards the end of my age of 20, going into 21 is when I started to see any return from this. I've really worked hard to make this work. I've been doing this almost 10 years now. So let me tell you something. It's gonna get difficult either way. You're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of things. You're gonna have to sacrifice going out. If you've got friends around you that are shit, that are not bringing any value to your life, don't get rid of them. Just distance yourself. You got to look at the people around you. That's the first most important thing. If they're not bringing value to your life, what are you doing hanging around with them? Just because they're friends with you, or they grew up with you, or whatever, or they stuck up for you a few times, that does not define a friend to me, trust me. And over time, the more you start to commit to yourself, the more you start to value yourself and respect yourself, your true friends will actually stick out. It will filter out who's your real friend and who's not. When I was 17, 18 years old, I've literally got this journal that I shared in my previous video. There's a lot more in here. My first ever, I just got anything, I picked it up, I remember it's just lying around the house. And my dream was always to speak to younger people at one point, probably when I was 24, 25, 26, like at the age that I'm right now. Hello? My sort of dream was, when I get to this age that I'm at now, to hopefully have achieved enough to be able to speak to you on a camera right now so that I could inspire you. And thanks to God I have. I'm not at the point that I want to be, and I don't think I ever will be. And I think any successful person that you speak to is never at the point. You never arrive at this point. But looking back at the amount of milestones I've achieved and what I'm yet to achieve, I'm confident to say that that person, that 17, 18-year-old version of me, would be so proud that I can actually sit here and talk to you and inspire those of you who once in my position watching me on YouTube, like I used to watch people on YouTube. You are not crazy for not wanting to go to school. You're not crazy for not wanting to go to college, university, and nothing bad's gonna happen to you. You know, life's not gonna come back. You're not gonna become homeless. You're not gonna go into debt. You're not gonna be, without a safety net. You're not gonna be without income. Cash and money is everywhere. You can get it. You're gonna survive. You're gonna be completely fine. Nothing's gonna happen to you. You need to go and chase your dreams. It's extremely important. Do so under the right guidance. You need to trust in yourself, develop yourself physically, go to the gym, train as much as you can, get yourself physically strong, get yourself mentally strong. And I'm telling you, go out there and network with people, speak to people. Don't be scared of speaking to people wherever you are. You're not a weirdo for doing so. And when you get yourself out there, you will learn so much more than you ever will in school. And trust me, you will achieve what you want, and you'll find the niche that you want, and you'll scale forward. Let me know down below as well, by the way, in the comments, if you want me to make a video to help you find what kind of niches to go into. And obviously my channel is not intended to be an entrepreneur type channel. It's more so my personal life and trading. But I'm more than happy to help those of you who don't have any interest in trading whatsoever and you want to go into any kind of business. Let me know and I'll make some videos, some really important videos as to how to get yourself out there and how to get around the right people so that you can make a lot of money irrelevant of what age you are. This video is going to be the beginning of a series where I'm really going to break down the scam that school really is for people who don't want to go into a job like a doctor or a lawyer, and how much people misinterpret what school actually is.